Well, thank you for joining us. This is Caching in the Northwest. Did you know it's the official podcast of GeoWoodstock 18 right here in the great Pacific Northwest? Each week, we're going to talk about caches and cachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're binging anything Netflix can put out, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Which, of course, means it's time to bring in our boyish baboon. Some say he has more muscles than a mollusk convention. And others say he's more fun than a Backstreet Boys reunion tour. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Backstreet's back. Oh, yeah. All right.
All right.
All right. It is good. It's good to be here with my favorite boy band tonight. And we've expanded the boy band tonight. We've got Komakino is here joining us. Rich, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
and bringing your muscles. Awesome. Good job.
It's a gun show.
Yeah, there you go. Sun's out, guns out. It was a sunny day today.
Awesome. Hey,
that's right.
That's right. We are very excited to have a fun show here. We've got a great guest from the Pacific Northwest who's going to be joining us. And tonight we are going to talk about creating geocaching videos. And of course, that's why we've brought in an expert on the topic. Rich, we're really looking forward.
You did?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to peppering you with all of our highly intelligent questions on that topic.
Try not to sneeze.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
You have to explain every sneeze and cough. No, I'm not sick. I just swallowed water down the wrong pipe. I'll be okay. You'll be
not dying.
I'm still alive. Exactly. Hey, well, also, we want to thank our various patrons. Thank you, everybody who helps to support. I'm going to start over again. We want to thank everybody who helps support this podcast. All of our patrons, thank you so much for helping to keep this podcast coming each and every week. And a special thanks to our corporate Denali level sponsor. That would be Landsharks. Landsharks wants to say a huge thank you to those of you who continue to support us by placing your orders online during this time. If you are at home solving puzzles, planning new cache hides, or organizing your geocoin collection, hey, there's still a lot of good stuff that they can bring you. And it'll bring you geocaching joy. And you'll get an extra 15% off most items with the code SHARKS15. That's SHARKZ15. All right. And hey, if you want to know more about supporting this podcast.
And I do.
Oh, okay. Well, then you.
What do I do?
You, sir, right down there. You should go to the cachingNW.com website and look right over on the side. And there's going to be a Patreon link. Just click it.
All right.
Nothing will go wrong at all. Just absolutely trust me. Go ahead and click that.
What could possibly go wrong?
And on that note, if you happen to be out caching and something goes wrong, you need to write a funny log. And you know where to share that log? Right here on Caching in the Northwest in our geocaching log of the week section. We call it a glow, and so should you. Whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. You know what? Send an email, maybe a field recording as you're walking around the block, to feedback@cachingNW.com. You can call in to 253-693-TFTC or use the voicemail tool right there on the website and show us, yes, please show us how you glow.
Please show us and send them in. We love reading them. Let's see. This week's glow was, looks like it was submitted by Team Noltex. How about that?
Woohoo!
And it's for a cache called Ezekiel's Wheel. Ezekiel saw the wheel. This is the wheel he said he saw. It's from GC83M1T. And it was logged by Belandine10. The log reads, "This puzzle has been haunting me for over a year. The blue icon just sat on my map unfound, taunting me. The uncompleted puzzle sheets sat on my desk. I imagined the puzzle gloating at me. Am I too difficult for you, Ben? Why, yes. Yes, you are. I had nightmares. Once, I dreamt that I was the only person in the world who hadn't found this cache. It had 1,103,038 favorite points, and all it was missing was mine. But I couldn't give it one. A month ago, I set out on a mission to get it done. I needed to put my anger and frustration to rest. So I did something bold, something brave, something unexpected, something no cacher has ever done before. I reached out to a friend for help, an English teacher. Thanks, Luke. The hide was nothing less than amazing. I mean, come on. That was cool. I have finally achieved my freedom. I'm a new man. I never have to do a Team Noltex word puzzle ever again. Oh, no, I forgot about the one on Anderson Island. Well, I have 7 months to get it done. I'll be fine. TFTC.
Oh, so well done. And if you've done a Team Noltex puzzle, you can relate.
I have.
You know
not
what?
done
You
the
could go
Noltex
do the
puzzle.
Team Noltex puzzle right now. Well, not right now.
Not right now. I mean, unless you're listening to this later, then you can pause this, go to the puzzle, and come back. But if you're live, stay with us and join in the chat. You know, we love community. It's the community that we hang out with here every Thursday night, and I look forward to it. And I just want to say, I was listening to a different podcast today. I know it happens. And this person was talking about community. And she said the human voice is, she was stressing the importance of calling people on the phone or talking in person, which we can't do right now so much, isolation and all. But the voice, that's the whole thing. If you just text, if you do social media, it's great. But human voice, reach out and call somebody. Because her claim was that after survival, food, shelter, water, sleep, your number one need, or humans' number one need, is community and belonging to a community. And I look forward to that every Thursday night right here, hanging out with you guys.
Sounds good. Sounds like fun.
You know, that's really true. That I've forgotten the name of the researcher that came up with the hierarchical list of needs, but yes, community is on there.
Yeah,
it's true.
Rich, I was going to ask, how are you keeping connected with family and friends these days?
Well, I'm working from home, so it's kind of tough waking up, sleeping in the extra hour and a half because you don't have to commute anymore, rolling out of bed and just keep rolling on into the office room here and get set up for work. And, the worst traffic jam I've had so far here was the cat sleeping in the hallway, and I had to stop and pet the cat for like an extra 15 minutes, but I still made it to work 20 minutes early on time. So
I think I saw your post about that this morning. Yeah.
It's tough, but yeah, it's just, and I know it's kind of cool because of, working at home, don't have to commute. Family's here. When I get off work, it's like 5 seconds stairs as opposed to the half-hour commute that takes an hour and a half because of Seattle traffic.
Oh.
So I look at the bright portions of it like that there to remind me that it's not that bad. And eventually one of these days I will go caching again.
Yes.
Yeah. One day.
One of these days.
Yeah. I think we're all missing getting out for that. There you go. Brylang's got it in the chat. Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah, exactly. Several people came up with that.
Oh, yeah. We got a few of them. There we go.
You guys are good. Look at this
Department. Hard at it again.
Yeah, I heard that today, and I thought, I got to mention that tonight, and I forgot to put it in the notes, but I immediately thought of Thursday night.
I think there's been a recent addition to Maslow's hierarchy of needs that comes just below food, and it's Wi-Fi.
Yeah. My son was just saying today, can you imagine what happened if we had a nationwide blackout or brownout right now?
Oh, God. Everybody would go nuts.
Oh, man.
That's when the rioting would start.
Yeah.
Well, the highest demand for internet is Thursday night at 9 p.m.
Okay, Komokino's armed and ready.
That's right.
I'm going to go out swinging.
Well, he's armed.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So
I'm sorry, Witsend. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said, the highest demand for internet is Thursday night at 9 p.m. We heard that last week.
Last week's news. That's right.
Yeah.
There you go. So once again.
So if there's going to be a brownout, or it could happen right now because this is the highest demand.
What were the cause of it here?
Oh yeah.
Per usual. So yeah, thanks to all of our awesome listeners and live viewers who are taking the internet down for us.
Darn that caching in the Northwest, stealing my bandwidth.
You kids, get off my internet. Well, folks, if you want to add to tonight's show chat, just use the hashtag video, and our well-trained chat lackey is going to grab that and make sure we see it. And of course, you can always use the hashtag FATAF to bring up any topic in the after show. Anything. And we'll force Komakino to talk about it.
Oh God. What's the adult rating on this show?
We are not adults.
Our chat lackey says, wait, what training?
Precisely.
So I guess my statement is pretty much null and void, except we will have an after show.
Yeah. So as per usual,
that's pretty much it. That's all. Okay. That's all we can say tonight.
Out the window. All right. Well,
and we have a great guest.
We do. And speaking of great guests, it's time to formally introduce our guest, Rich, better known as Komakino. We're going to learn a little bit about you for any of our listeners who maybe haven't seen your internet posted works. So first of all, let's find out where's home and how long have you been enjoying the game of geocaching?
Home is in the place called the Pacific Northwest. Maybe you've heard of it. So it's up here in Mill Creek area of Seattle. So I think couldn't have a better place to go caching because there's so many caches out here. It's when I go to Idaho to visit my mom out there, it's like I could go caching for like 2 days and find all the caches in my hometown out there, and then I'd be like bored if I had to live out there in that area. Be like, where's all the caches? But out here in the Pacific Northwest, I'm really grateful for the lots of different varieties and types of caches out there, and the fact that there's just so many. And the caching community out here with everybody is just fantastic as well. A lot of cool people that I've had a chance to meet because of this hobby and go caching with them and all that. So I think just the area here is just great with caching. Sorry, I'm like running out of words to say. I need liquid courage.
Oh, there you go.
Good. Thumbs up.
Nah, I don't know. It's but yeah, it's just fantastic out here. Especially with the geocaching headquarters just being a stone's throw away. Washington State Geocaching Association. They're out here. Bunch of great people. A lot of the friends I made that you've probably seen in my videos, like Paul, my friend John, Rambudo, and Winos. Those guys. Even had a chance to do an adventure lab with Land Monkey. So, and also meeting Chris. And what's that?
And we apologize for that.
Well, it had to eventually happen here. So, and then even cached with you, Chris. So they're at the GIF event there. So that was pretty cool. So I guess that leaves.
No, Wits End was there.
What's End was there? He was there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah. He was hiding in the back there.
Do you remember that puzzle?
Unfortunately, yes, that was a pain.
Oh yeah, I did. I opened that puzzle for you.
So yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, you were there. You were hiding out there. So
I tend to lurk.
Yes.
My incognito mode. I hide behind the mustache.
Pacific Northwest, great place to be caching.
It is a great place. I mean, this is where it all started, right? Right here in the Pacific Northwest. It's so great that, we get together here every Thursday night and talk about it.
Exactly.
So, of all of the places you've cached, though, Pacific Northwest, or maybe boil it down even closer, maybe it's outside of the Pacific Northwest. What is your favorite place that you've ever gone geocaching?
Favorite place that I've gone geocaching, I would have to just say the hike out to Monte Cristo when we were going through our Summer of Jasmers last year. Out of all the places that I've gone out to find Jasmer caches, like GCD, GC1217, the one cache out by Leavenworth on the mountain that's called She'll Be coming round the mountain on Round Mountain. Out of all the places that I've gone to, Monte Cristo would be the one that I would regularly go back to. I've got all the caches, 12 to 14 caches on that trail leading down to that ghost town. I would still go out there. In fact, I want to go out there again this summer if lockdown ever lets up. So I think it'd be great to go out to that area again. Just the views. The hike is flat. It's easy. The views again. It's a beautiful hike. It's love that place.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did an event there. It was great.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a nice hike. It's not a arduous hike at all.
No, it's
And-
flat, and you got a nice log that you can go over across to get across the river there. Yeah, it's great. The views out there are just amazing and quiet, and there's not a lot of people, so you don't have to worry about like a lot of muggles and stuff. When you get to the ghost town, there are the occasional people that there that far that are just kind of hanging out there, but it's not a packed place like, let's say, Rattlesnake Ledge or something like that. Even like out at GCD, we ran into so many people on the way up and down, but out there, not a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
And you could even probably bike it too. If you had a nice mountain bike, you could hop on your bike and cruise out there, make that trip a bit faster.
There you go.
The tree would be a difficult one. The log, getting your bike across there.
Yeah, there's a few places, but
You can do it, but
You can
the bulk
carry
of
it.
it's doable.
no,
I don't know. We got right up close to the town, and there was a Jeep up in there. So there's another way in there somehow
There is.
that maybe is more mountain bike friendly.
The Jeep belongs to the only resident of Monte Cristo. I found out that when you go into the town there and you go south a little bit more to the other ghost town of that, the portion of that town, there's a little house that you might see where it says Mayor of Monte Cristo. There's a lady that lives out there, her and like a bunch of cats. Cat lady. And that's her Jeep. And from where it's parked, if you were to actually kind of follow that road on out, that would take you to the Mountain Loop Highway there. So you could possibly drive down to it.
There you go.
Oh, what fun would that be?
But it's just a
I
really
know,
long
right?
driveway,
That
really.
takes the fun out of it. Don't do that.
It's a great hike.
don't be that guy.
Exactly. Don't be that cashier.
But
Awesome.
it would be easy to social distance in a ghost town, right?
You would think.
Yeah.
I guess it depends how many people you go hiking with. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Awesome. Well, tonight's topic is not ghost towns, although that sounds like a good topic for another. Actually, we did a show on ghost towns with JT Kaufman not that long ago.
Mhm.
It was like the Halloween one, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Your
Yeah,
Halloween.
And then we did a weird Washington with IHAM.
there you go.
There were some ghostly things there.
There you go. Well, tonight we're going to talk about geocaching videos. And I noticed Chris Edley had made a comment earlier and said that he's actually made a geocaching video about his adventure to Monte Cristo.
Yeah. Helen just shared the link.
Yeah, there you go. Rich, I think you've made a video of that as well, haven't you?
Yeah, last year when I was doing my summer of Jasmers, I made a video for each location we went to. Like GC 12 and 17 was one video. There was the Monte Cristo. There's the one out in Leavenworth. And then it was the return to GD because some people from the Everett Herald wanted to go out and do a news article on the oldest cache in Washington State there. So went back out and did that again. It was a pain. it's a nice hike. I can do the hike going up, but going downhill, my knees just I'm getting old.
What? Say it ain't so.
I know, right? So it was a pain. And then when we got GCD, we went out to the Mount Margaret cache, which is a little bit north from there, which is on like a hill. You got to like go up like that to get to it. And
The view is amazing though from Mount Margaret.
yes, it's a beautiful view out there. The hike was a pain, and before I had my hernia operation, and that killed me.
Ooh, yeah.
So that laid me out.
All right.
Yikes.
Well, amongst all of those adventures that you've made videos of, and so obviously this is a topic you know quite a bit about. How long have you been making the videos, Rich?
back in 2014, I was just kind of goofing around. I had bought a GoPro what was it, the GoPro Hero 2, and remember the old GoPro commercials where they would throw them on skateboards and bikes and stuff, and they would have like some rock and techno and stuff. And I was thinking, there's nobody doing geocache videos with these. It'd be great to do one. So the summer of 2014, my kid and we drove to Idaho, and I filmed some stuff with the GoPro, and then I had some issues with the memory card because the way the formatting works on it, so it didn't record. I recorded like maybe about like 5 minutes of stuff, and then it stopped. And then I continued filming with a Sony camera that I had, and it was just like, nothing will ever happen with this. So I just kind of left it aside. And then in 2015, when I was really, really getting into geocaching, Rambudo out here, he was like, you got to go to the block party. So went out to the block party, and I took my video camera out there. The kid came along, and one of her friends from Japan was there with us, and we filmed our official video at the block party there. And then we went to the ape event the next day. Geocaching vlogger, like my kid, I had told her about the ape tunnel because I was actually there in 2004. No, I had heard about it from 2014, but it didn't go out then. But 2015, when we went out, I told my kid about it. Like, hey, there's this tunnel. It's 2 miles long through a mountain. It's going to be dark. And she was all scared. And she, a friend of mine said, hey, watch this person's videos. A geocaching vlogger guy. He went through the tunnel. You can show it to her, see what she thinks. I showed that to her, and she was like, yeah, that doesn't look bad. I can do that. So then we went out there to that, and thanks to the vlogger, she was able to build up her courage to go through the ape tunnel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So the video going through the tunnel is like 45 minutes of black, right?
Yeah, just that, and you just hear footsteps.
Okay.
Over there, yeah. Right there, yeah. Then you see like the light at the end of the tunnel, and it gets bigger and bigger. And then there's like a couple of caches that you, couple of caches. No, there's
cache in the middle.
One cache that you find in there. Then there was a earth cache too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that in there.
Nice.
But then from those videos there, it just kind of started as a something to do with my skills with video production, because I took at Bellevue the production, and I wanted to continue doing something video wise. So I still out video. I'm still out editing videos and maybe doing some stuff with After Effects and all that. And I thought, geocaching videos, I that. And it's been keeping me busy ever since.
Nice. Komakino, you're breaking up a little bit, but I think we've understood what you've said.
Absolutely. I want to bring something up. You've mentioned the kid a couple of times, and the name of your channel is Komakino and the Kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, geocaching with Komakino and the Kid. Mm-hmm. So came up with the name of. Thank you there, Scott. Came up with the name the Kid because way back when in Facebook, I used to mention my kid's or my child's name and my wife's name, and then somebody was really paranoid about it, like, shouldn't be mentioning their names. People can steal their information. So I thought, okay, I'll refer to my wife as my wife, the wife, my wifey, the wifey, not out of disrespect or anything, because I thought, better not anybody steal her name. And then my child became the Kid. So when I was putting this video together, I've always had the name Komakino, and that's a long story. So I thought, geocache with Komakino, and what do I call you? The Kid. The Kid. That sounds good. So geocaching with Komakino and the Kid came from that.
Awesome.
Nice. I'm a big fan of alliteration, so that fits right in there.
I'll have to tell you the story of how he came up with Komakino later on, but that's like like a 2-beer story.
We'll have to have you on another episode just for the story.
That'll be another hour and a half. Tune in next week when Rich tells the story about how he came up with the name Komakino. Until then,
you'll have to guess.
Yep. And in the meantime, you've got at least two new subs already. Out of the chat. So There you go.
Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And
So,
look at
yeah.
Lisa said there used to be a puzzle final in the Ape Tunnel too. I didn't know that.
Oh wow,
Hmm.
that was been deactivated way back before 2014, 2015. Hey, is that look at Lisa? Yay!
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, another one.
I ran into her a couple times there. Yay!
Well.
Thank you, Forest Ghost. Yeah, ran into Lisa a couple times out. That's funny, you saw her out at the Ape event there. So it's cool seeing her there.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things I love about the Going Ape event, is that it's such a laid back mega, and you just really you've got time to do the lab caches and then hang out and visit with friends. It's just one of the things I really enjoy about that event.
Yeah, it's a really nice laid back mega event. Now, Rich, what are some of the toughest parts when it comes to making a geocaching video? I mean, we've got several questions already in the chat that are similar to this.
I would say trying to make the caches interesting, because face it, a lot of the caches that we go out and find, it's like, yay, went out and found some caches today. They're lamppost caches in the rock wall. So yay. So yeah, if trying to come up with ways to make something like those interesting, because not everything's going to be a bounce cache, and I would say, even if it is something like a lamppost cache that you found, or okay, what can you do to make it better? Were you like on your lunch break? Are you trying to do this before work? Can you do it in like your half-hour lunch break or something there? Add a story to it. Maybe it might be something like when I was working on the A to Z channel. It turned out that when I got to X and Z letters, that there was a couple puzzle caches, and when I solved them, they turned out to be lamppost heights, and it's like, what? So I was able to incorporate things like that, like, yeah, it's your basic lamppost cache, but it's helping me with this challenge. So with this done, it's getting me off to complete these tasks of caching. So, and I would say another thing to make them interesting would be to maybe vary your shots. Don't forget B-roll. B-roll is your friend. Land Monkey, I see you do a lot of B-roll there with your videos and with your voiceovers and things you do. So don't be afraid to mix things up. And it's my wife. Hi. It's the wife. Is the kid? No, they see you. She's like waving from the side, like, hi. I'm like, they can't see you.
I believe she exists.
Is the kid still on the phone? Still busy on her Skype call and Zoom call to Japan. But I would say don't the TV show Expedition Unknown with Joshua Gates. Love that show. I think Josh would be an awesome person to go caching with. But if you watch a show like that, I would recommend it to see how they film their finds and their when they find something, when they're out doing when he's out explaining what it is they're looking for, doing it. You'll hear that they've got he's talking about it, and then they have B-roll over his cuts and his speech, because right now I'm stopping and I'm stuttering, and if I was to go through and edit this, I would cut that stuff out to make it sound like I'm completely coherent, which happens. But then you would have all these weird videos. Get your B-roll to put over stuff like that to make everything better. Like, where is he? Land Monkey there. When he has his videos, he does a great job with his voiceovers explaining the situation and places he's at. I'm at this park here. This park is cool because of such and such cool geological features. And while he's talking about that, he has video showing the things he's talking about. Because sometimes what you'll see is a vlogger might have their camera and they're out here walking along, and there's a cache around this tree here, and
I've
if it
watched
take-
those
if it take-
videos and they become
I know, and
Yeah.
if it takes 5 minutes to find a cache, we might not need to see all 5 minutes of finding a cache.
Yeah.
Learn how to edit and do some cuts. And again, with the show like Expedition Unknown, when they do their cuts, they do their B-roll shots. He reaches in, and then you get a close-up of a hand. You know they filmed that reaching in like 5 times, but when you're watching it on TV, you don't think about it.
Right.
You know, it's everything's all fluid and continuous, and it moves the story along. So learning some skills and things like that would be pretty cool to would really help out with your videos.
Now, Komakino, I agree with everything you say, except when you say on Expedition Unknown, when they find things, they never find anything.
Well, when they're I know when we're going to go out and try and find Bigfoot today. No, you're not. We're going to go out and find the lost Ark of the Covenant. No, you're not. But here's the thing about that show.
You're still watching it, aren't you? And they're not.
Exactly. Yes, they're not going to find it, and you don't give a dang. Because they make it so cool and fun, and the way he jokes and things, and the way he tells his story, the way he narrates things, you're interested. That's like my wife. We watch, and she'll be like, "I think they're going to find it," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I don't care. It's going to be a fun adventure anyway. Just see what you get."
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah.
Cash Canada says, set up shots to tell a story.
Yeah.
Yes, that too. Use your shots there. If you're talking about Niagara Falls, get shots of Niagara Falls. Get some cool shots, and vary your shots as well too. Get close-up shots, medium shots, wide shot. I think like one of the fun videos I had here was the Almost Live Adventure Lab video that I put together.
Mm-hmm.
Just because the people I was with, Toy Borden and Carlos Falconer Swarlos and kid, we had so much fun on that journey there. We were just cracking and laughing and telling jokes throughout the whole thing. And when we were going out to the locations, we were watching the Almost Live clips that they had on there. A lot of those skits, I pulled from the dark recesses of my mind. I remember skits, the Ballard driving school and things. So, and then when we got out to these locations, as I said, we kind of varied up some shots and things, but then I was able to use those clips that Lamerick put up online. I downloaded those, used the clips from those skits to put them in, so people who don't know the show can see what it was about. And it was cool reading the comments after I had the video up there for a while, and people were saying, "Never heard of this show, but I'm watching it now on YouTube." So they were looking up that comedy show. Do you guys know Almost Live? You guys should know Almost Live.
Yeah, Pat Cashman and John Keister and us. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Had jury duty with John Keister, and he's a write-in person. So
I've worked with Pat Cashman a bit too. Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
You should take him cashing.
And Chris Cashman. His son, yeah.
Yeah, his son.
Chris, yeah. What was it, the 206 when they had that show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I worked on the 206 for a couple episodes. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, what cool. Cool.
Yeah, it's great.
That was a fun show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you've talked about one of the, I say secrets, but it's not really a secret to anybody that's done any video editing, is B-roll. Cash Canada says you can never have enough B-roll. People don't always like to film it when you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you think you've got enough B-roll until you sit down to edit, and then it's like, oh,
yeah, because you need that cut where you're like, flubbing your words and you do editing there, and then it's like, oh, I filmed 3 seconds of that. That'll be good. No, and you need like 10. So you can never have enough B-roll. And my kid, the kid hates me when I stop doing B-roll. It's like, do we have to do more B-roll, Dad? And I'm like, you don't know.
Oh, every time I watch a show about a long distance road trip or a hiking trip or anything where you see that hiker or truck or van or truck, whatever, come from a distance and drive past the camera, like, how many times did they drive ahead, set the camera, go back, drive past it, go back, pick up the camera? It's a lot of work behind the scenes, but it makes
Yep.
final product.
Like when we're out at Monte Cristo, I would have to run up in front of the group,
Yep.
put the camera down, run back to the group,
Yeah.
and then we would walk by. Then I'd pick it up, and there's times where I would set it up on like a hill, and we'd have to walk by, and gotta go get the camera. Get the camera. Or when we and my kid hates this, is when I have her like reach in to get a cache, she'll reach in with her hand, grab the cache, and then we'll do the thing where we open it up and, oh wow, logbook and stuff. And then she'll put it back in, and then I'm like, okay, I'll get up close to the camera. Okay, reach him to your right. Nope, not your left hand, right hand. Right, you reach him with your right hand. You do the right hand. Okay, right hand. And then she reaches in, and then, okay, now put it back. Put it back. So yeah.
Okay, so we've kind of peeled back the onion a little bit and showed behind the scenes and the how-tos and the secrets there. But what about before you ever leave, before you ever go out on the trail to shoot a video? How do you come up with the idea initially for the video?
Well, I don't film every cache I go out to, because sometimes it's just, I'm going to go out and just find caches today just because I just need to get out and just do some caching. I would say looking at a cache ahead of time, read up on it. Does it sound like it's a cool geocache? Do you think you could maybe tell a story about it? Do a little bit of research ahead of time. A friend of mine was like, look at the favorites on them. More favorites on them. People like it for some reason. Maybe you can, tell a cool story based off of it there. And then do your research on it ahead of time. See what people are saying about it, read the description. The favorites are great. Sometimes I'll get recommendations from fellow cachers. Oh, you should check this cache out. This cache is cool, because that's how I found out about Bounce's caches way back when. Someone's like, you should do these gadget caches. Look for Bounce caches, and went out and looked and found one. And it's like, whoa, this was cool. And then we found the one that was out by the 520 Travel Bug hotel. From like recommendation, people saying you should really check that one out. It's really cool. So, go with people's recommendations too, because someone's found something that's really cool and awesome, and you trust them. Go on out there and check it out.
So, Rich, do you have a creative process that you follow in how you create these videos, like from the story through to putting everything together?
Yeah, I try to. Sometimes it's just I'll go out and kind of go with the flow of it, film it as we find it, and then try and think of a story to tell. Now, this might come as a surprise to you. You don't have to fill everything from beginning to end in a nice little sequence there. You can film your stuff, and then afterwards you can be like, hey, today we're going to go find this cool cache after you already found it.
Yeah.
So you can do things like that, or in cases where if it's with like a group of friends, go out with them and, have fun. Another thing would be to just film it and have fun, even if it turns out to be something kind of basic. What was cool about it, the weather, the location, are there views? Check out the views. Hey, this was like a lamppost cache, but check out this thing. Other interesting things or neat things to do would be to, as I mentioned earlier there, shoot your various shots and angles. This way, it's not just the typical steady shot like all the time there. We mentioned B-roll there. Another thing would be to editing. I know I mentioned just like a little bit ago, they're like, just because you filmed finding the cache for 5 minutes doesn't mean you need to see all 5 minutes of the cache hunt. Learn to cut things out. If you're going to be talking about the cache, just stand still and talk about it. because a lot of people will sometimes talk about it as they're walking and the camera's getting all wobbly. Kind of gets vomit inducing sometimes.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to stand still and talk about it, and then b-roll. And then when editing, if you're going to be putting music in and you want to make things interesting, cut to the beat of the music. When you have a nice little cymbal crash, cut to a different scene. You got some nice beat going on there. Cut to the beat of the music. So editing skills, check and see what other people are doing. There's probably tutorials and things that you can find on YouTube, like how to edit your videos better. So, check out things like that there to help out. And again, like as I said, don't be afraid to film out of sequence. Because there was a cache jasmine hunt that we did a while ago with Paul, and I forgot to film us talking about it before we got to it. When we got to and searched for it, we couldn't find it, so it was a DNF. And then as we were walking away going to another cache, I was like, oh, I forgot to film talking about it, so I had to film talking about it even though we didn't find it.
Yeah.
So editing skills, look up some stuff online, check out other vloggers and kind of see what they're doing. And also get to know your gear because I've been kind of like old school. I shoot with a Sony CX900. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's kind of like a shoulder mounted rocket launcher. The thing's huge and it weighs a lot. Sometimes I'll shoot with a Canon 70D that I have if I really want to get some good shots and things. And there's been a lot of times when I've been out caching and I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have brought my camera to film this. This would have been so cool. And Bruce from Cache the Line is like, you got a cell phone, right? Yeah. And I've used my cell phone here now.
Yeah.
Past videos where it's like, hey, got it. So
the best camera is the one you have with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So don't be afraid to shoot on different things. I know people like to shoot with GoPros and things like that. Get something that you can maybe throw in your geocaching bag if you're going out caching. So this way, if you're just out on a whim, who knows what you might find.
Exactly. Now, Rich, there are so many geocaching videos and channels already out there on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Should anybody even bother making any more? Should I go ahead and make a channel about my geocaching adventures?
Sure, why not? You got to start somewhere. I started off like my YouTube channel. I had other random stuff on it when I started making my caching videos, and I had maybe 50 subscribers. I think as I said, you got to start somewhere with it there. You'll learn as you go along. Look at your first video that you've done, compare it to the most recent one you've done, and hopefully you'll see that there's a lot of improvement on there. Like looking at Cache Canada stuff, 3 Happy Campers, Cache the Line, Geo Rick, holy cow, he does some amazing stuff. Look at what other people are doing and see how you can do the same thing, but don't copy, try and find something where you can maybe be a little bit different. Not everyone is going to be, don't take it wrong, hyper, the geocaching vlogger. That guy can make a DNF lamppost cache be the most amazing thing he's ever done that day. Don't be afraid to have fun with it. What can you do to tell a story to make your caching adventures amazing? Land Monkey, it's almost like a travel commercial, a travel show thing. Where he explains the location. It's Geo Rick, when I'll watch his videos and I don't care if he finds a cache. I'm learning something new because of the way he's doing his show. I seriously swear the Travel Channel should pay him to do traveling shows in which they go out to cool locations and things, and then randomly find a geocache. So don't be afraid to be different. Trying, just gosh, I don't know. Have fun with what you're doing, and don't worry about the subscriptions and the hits and things at first, because we all got to start off somewhere. And then as you learn more and hopefully get better, more people will hopefully start watching you there.
Yeah,
it's either that or just play video games and just scream at the game and stuff like what people do, and go with that.
Exactly. Yeah, I really like what you were saying there, though, Rich. That just start and find your own style, have fun while you're doing it. So as long as you're having fun, it'll come through. Like if you try and force the fun, it'll come across on the camera that you're not really having fun. So just enjoy yourself. Be you, be yourself.
Yeah.
Find your voice, but at the same time, try and tell a story. So there has to be something that keeps people wanting to see it. And what they want to see is a level of integrity of you just being yourself and finding your own voice, but also they want to see a bit of a story. And so I think those are really good points.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's funny because it's like I try not to be too hyper, and I don't know, it's just like right now, the camera's on me, so it's like, oh, I got to act different. And I've had people tell me on Reddit, like, why don't you just calm down and be normal? And I'm like,
normally, folks.
This is me being normal.
As if anybody on Reddit is normal.
I know, right? I'm like, last thing I'm going to do is take advice from somebody on Reddit, but I don't know. It's,
So Rich, speaking of advice, we've had a lot of questions coming in through the podcast about gear, gear, equipment, tools. So what we'll do is we'll ask you to start us off with just sort of a good idea of what gear somebody should consider having to get started with vlogging. But then we'll switch into what our chat lackey is calling the Keats 94 question hour. Keats has been dropping lots of questions, as have others. And so we've got a whole lot of great questions to get into here for you. But why don't we start with what you prepped in explaining to us what kind of gear someone should consider to have to get started?
Yeah. I kind of started off with the old school mentality of I need to have a camcorder. So let me grab it real quick here, just a sec.
We'll be right back after these messages. Here he is.
Should have been more prepared. I'm sorry. Going to talk about video stuff. I don't need the camera with me. Wait, maybe I do. So this is the Sony CX900. It's HD camera. Got it back in 2015, and I like it because I can get some good depth of field with it. Now, depth of field is when you film something that's, say, up close, and then everything in the background is all blurred out, so this way it doesn't cause distractions. So you can get some really cool shots if you want to focus on something and leave everything in the background all fuzzy. So that's why I got this thing here. And also, another great tool is your tripod. And I've got this Joby Pod here, Gorilla Pod. These things are great. I don't know how many times I've wrapped this thing around a tree or a bench or car seat, just to get like a good shot. And, these things, $50-$60. So not bad. So definitely look into something like this. Camcorder, you can probably, as I said, I used a Canon 70D that I have. You can use something like that. Audio might be kind of a little wonky, and then have more settings that you have to worry about on a professional camera like that, DSLR. So that's where it comes into the point of learning to your equipment. Get your shutter speed, your f-stop, your aperture, your white balance. Oh, that's always fun if you screw that up. Why is everything blue?
When you shoot with 3 different cameras and they don't match?
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, right. So I started off with this here. I still mainly use that. Um, I forced myself to go out and shoot video with my cell phone just so I could learn how to do it and also get past the barrier of like, it's not professional gear. No, it's not, but you can still get some great shots with it. I wish the audio was better on this. There was one of the alphabet challenge videos I had a little bit ago, and then when I went out and did my first CETO, it was filmed with this here, and audio is terrible, but the video actually pretty good. So, if you got a cell phone, learn the functions and features on it there as well. So I would say those would be some great things to go with. I've seen people use GoPros. GoPros are great. You can get that cool, weird fishbowl effect there. A lot of people have gimbals.
Yeah.
So everything's all nice, smooth, and steady. So if you're, and they're really cheap if you can get a good one for something small like a GoPro or your cell phone. I had one couple that I tried with my Canon and also with this here, but they're not mechanically balanced. So you have to sit there and balance the weights and everything. And so those are too much of it's when you're just going out just to find a random cache, it's too much just to mess around with. So that's why, unfortunately, a lot of my stuff is bouncy, shaky, because I just don't have a nice gimbal for it yet. So you can get into like a nice sinkhole of getting gear. It's it's like, oh, I'll just get one more thing. Like $300 later, darn it. So be prepared. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. Just again, think of like the fun that you're having, and make do with what you have. And if things keep on going from there, yes, UDAC, that camera is huge and it's heavy too. Just go with something. Yes, just find maybe something cheap. If you get, I know they have like little handy cams that you can get sometimes at Costco and whatnot. So,
But I think you made a really good point that really all you really need to get started from a filming perspective is your smartphone. Like that should be enough to get you going, and really then focus on some of the other techniques and such. And then once you've filmed, it comes to the editing. And so what do you use in your studio for editing software?
When I was taking the video production courses at Bellevue College, I had was the Adobe Production Suite. So I was using Adobe Premiere and After Effects, Illustrator and Photoshop and all that stuff there. So might be kind of overkill for some people there. I've seen some people do some stuff with Sony Vegas. Final Cut Pro is still kind of an expensive thing. Looks like we lost somebody. I don't know. You can, again, that's like I use Adobe Premiere, which is kind of like a more higher end production editing tool, non-linear. You can have multiple layers of things. You can throw in your titles and graphics and stuff. I like working with that because it's what I'm used to. But I've seen people just do some just regular decent stuff with just cheaper programs. I wish I kind of knew more of them off the top of my head, but I don't know, like somebody was like using, as I said, like Sony Vegas or something like that. And you don't have to really spend a lot, but if you get a cheaper program, be prepared because their effects and stuff will be cheaper, and people will see it and be, oh, that looks kind of, it's not high quality. So be careful of the effects and things that you do. Because if you have some cool action going on, and then you have like a weird cheesy spiral wipe or something where it's like, what? No. Don't be afraid to say no. Just be prepared for stuff like that. What's that?
Just because it's there, you don't have to use it.
Yeah, you don't have to go through every effect that you have in your that you have there. It's just find something that looks good, that looks professional enough, and go with that there.
So related to that, Keats asked, do you use any kind of light filters for your clips?
Let's see, the camera here has a non-density filter there, so I've used it before when it's been like really bright. Like last year when I was in Florida, I was filming some caches on the beaches there, and those are finally going to be released here in the next couple of weeks. I use like the filters on the camera, but the thing is if you use filter on the camera and it affects that, and then you take it into edit, it could be than your other shots because it has already been processed in a way to where it could affect other effects that you might add on if you want a certain look to it. If you want to try and keep your color balance and stuff the same across your different scenes and shots, but you filmed something with a filter, it's going to be different. So then you have to try and mess around with that to try and get it to match up with other stuff. So I don't really use anything on the camera. When I do my post-production work, depending on what's going on with it, because I might just go through and adjust brightness and balance and maybe saturation a little bit. There is an adjustment layer that I use a lot in my videos where it enhances the colors a little bit, but it also makes blacks darker and dark things darker. So sometimes I'll have to clip that portion out on certain shots because then everything's all too dark. But I'll try and use an adjustment layer just to enhance the colors a little bit, make greens more greener and reds more red and the blues more blue type of a thing.
I just thought the weather was better everywhere you videoed than what I was experiencing.
That's just my sunny personality.
Now, knowing what you know today, if you were to start over, what camera would you get, especially for something just like YouTube?
Gosh, for just like YouTube, from what I know now, I think I would probably go with a Canon 7, like let's say, I know they don't make the 70Ds anymore. There's newer versions of that they have now. I'd go with something like that because you can shoot great video. Oh, hey, you want to take pictures? Great. You got a great camera that you can take pictures and things with too. I've used my Canon 70D, as I said a couple of times, for some the geocaching videos, and I've done like some cosplay videos and stuff where I would mainly use that because I have a nice fisheye lens there for it. So
a DSLR.
Maybe something. What's that?
A DSLR.
Yeah. I'd go with something like that there, and maybe a microphone attachment for it because audios on those are kind of it's not the best. So maybe go with something like that with a good audio setup and good stabilizer or something.
So,
and of course,
the
Gorilla Pod.
For sure. Yeah.
There's your stabilizer right there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of questions here, and we'll try and get to some more of these questions in the after show. But I'm just going to be cognizant that we're starting to come up on the top of the hour here. But we talked earlier about storylines, and the Land Sharks had asked a couple of questions to get a sense. Rich, do you plan out your storyline in advance, or do you just kind of piece it together afterwards?
I kind of wing it as I go sometimes because, I'll have an idea on a cache. Okay, there's this cache here. Okay, we'll get to it. And then I kind of start off the video with like the kid and me in the car. And it's like, hey, today we're going to be doing this thing. We're going to see this cache, kind of give like a basic intro to the video about what it is, maybe what's cool about it, and maybe and then as we go along, and then it's just because you don't know what's going to go on. You can have the coolest video all planned out. You could get out to ground zero. This is going to be great. I heard so much about it, and DNF. Whoops. So I would just kind of like just film things as they go along with it. It's, you're filming a geocaching video. You're not filming like a World War II documentary where you have to have all your facts and to tell an official cool story of what happened, because if you go out to a location and it's a DNF, can you make it sound cool? Is there something else there? Maybe you found some caches on the way. Maybe there's caches after. Maybe you got out to a spot where it's like, couldn't find the cache, but check out this view. Maybe there's a nice payoff or reward for it. Because remembering, geocaching is taking you outside. So you should be glad you're outside. You should be enjoying your time outside. Especially now, it's like, I'm going to go outside.
Exactly. Another question. This one comes from IHAM. How did you come up with your video for the GIF?
I wanted to do a horror story, but of course, when you read the description or the requirements that they send you, you can't have violence, you can't have weapons, and this, that, and the other thing. But I wanted to kind of tell like a horror story in which it's not really scary, but there's a happy moment at the end, or there's like a nice surprise at the end. Somebody had done a story prior the night I became a werecacher or something like that. So I watched that, and it's like, okay, he's kind of telling a horror story. Yes, it's not scary, it's not bloody or violent. Can I do something with maybe add some suspense to it, where it's like, because how many times have you been caching and you're like off the trail, you're rummaging through the woods, you're looking in a tree stump, and all of a sudden you've had people walk by the trail.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there, because I've had it happen before where I was like looking and there's ladies walking by and I've got my coat on and I'm all kind of hunched over in the woods looking, and I'm like, this could be so bad. What if they see and freak out and like, what's this guy doing out here? And I thought like, how could something like that be portrayed also in with the show? So I got out there. I knew I wanted to do Nano in the Woods because everybody's always complaining about it. I had that title planned. I wanted to kind of make the video like like the commercials that you see for shows where they have dun 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 dun. So that's why I had that beat and that driving beat going on there, where getting it cuts on and repeat pace dun dun. So I wanted to have things like that, but I wanted it again to be kind of like a commercial. But then I should have just gone with like just a mini horror story. And then, of course, like the encounter with the person in the woods, because I'm probably pretty sure you've all had times where you're out caching with somebody, or you're out there caching, and all of a sudden you see somebody on the trail, and it's like, okay, what's this guy doing? And then, are you caching? Yeah, I'm caching. Oh, great, me too. And then you end up looking for the cache together. So I wanted to kind of have something like that, where this person is following us along through the trails in the woods, and we're all kind of freaked out. We get split up because I'm pretty sure we've all been split up or took a wrong turn someplace. And then when you get out to the cache, we found it, and this thing in the middle of this state park. Why? Why? And then, the other person shows up. Oh, hey, you found it for me. Thanks. So I wanted to kind of portray those kind of like different types of caching elements to the story in under 4 minutes.
There you go. Well, it was a great video. I really enjoyed watching it there with you in person at the event in Seattle. We had a great time.
Yeah.
We could talk about technique and gear and all kind of stuff. We could book a whole other episode or two.
I know, right?
Let's set that aside for now, or we will be here all night. And go back to the topic of community we talked about earlier, and being connected to other people. If you were just starting out, or maybe you are an experienced geocaching filmmaker like yourself, how do you connect with other vloggers or filmmakers in the geocaching community?
I kind of just started off with just following the geocaching vlogger back in the day. It was just him, and then then you would see like the sidebar, like other caching videos, and you would see these other people, and okay, I'll watch this person, Geocaching Katie, okay, Jamie Stardust, okay, and then you would see these other people, and then like the different ways and that they were telling their stories, a different way that they're caching, but they're doing things different. So I really like the aspects from those cachers that I followed. And of course, there's always Skimbosh. You can't go wrong with a Skimbosh video. So so I'd say with just connecting with these people online, talking with them and about their video. Hey, I like what you did with this video. This was cool. And then the geocaching vlogger had the GCNW, the geocaching network set up there. So I became a member of that. Then with Facebook and social media and yada, 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 and everything's social media these days. And it's such a pain. There's many different ways that you can connect with people just because straight up social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, So I'd say find a group like that you can get into, your videos with them there, watch other people's videos there, see what they're doing, see if they're doing something cool. Maybe they can give you ideas on which videos to make them better or whatever. And of course, always just, emailing people. I emailed Skimbosh and I contacted him for help with the video. And then there was the 100 Feet of Fun video where I had the kid and I did our nods, and then we did the Family Guy takeoff of that where we kept nodding the people, and then we had other vloggers add their nods to it. And then because they helped me with things like that, I've helped them with their collaboration video. So it kind of became this cool big family here, with Scott down in California there. Met up with him at a ape event a few years ago. Then of course, Land Monkey and you two there as well. And eventually just meet up with people in real life. And I was really looking forward to the things going on this summer, and I hope they still happen. It's up in the air. Yeah. So it was just connecting with people online, and hopefully one of these days, it's like I know these people, I've seen their videos. I can't wait to meet these people in life. And then when we finally got the chance to meet the geocaching vlogger at the Geo Coin Fest a couple years ago, I have like a list of people I want to go geocaching with. Joshua Gates, Joshua Johnson, the geocaching vlogger, and finally got a chance to go geocaching with the geocaching vlogger there, and he's a riot to go caching with.
Well, there you go. So some great tips on how to get connected with the rest of the community. And we're over our hour allotment here.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's quite all right. We've got lots we're going to talk about still. So folks, hang on as we wrap up
the after show.
And we're going to go into the after show. Rich is he's already committed. He signed on the dotted line. He's going to stay with us.
I'm ready to go.
Before the podcast. That's the trick.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's going to join us for the after show. So stay tuned for that. But before we get to the after show, Rich, first of all, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. We hope that you, the kid and the wifey keep well. We're looking forward to seeing you in person again.
Oh, of course. I'm looking forward to that too this summer, hopefully. And thanks for having me on. It was great. As I said, seeing you guys, we've done some caching together. I'm looking forward to more caching in the future, and I thank you all here for having me on the show.
Oh, you're very welcome.
It's great to have you.
And of course, you're staying with us. But listeners, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you liked it. Now, next week, we're going to talk about what you take along with you to eat on a geocaching road trip. What could that be? If you've got great ideas, you need to send them in to feedback@cachingnw.com. And then the week after that, we are talking puzzle caches with Team AJK.
Oh, puzzles.
Yeah.
Puzzles.
If you haven't met Jennifer, she's knows how to solve puzzle caches. We'll have her on.
Can we also eat while we solve puzzles? Because I like to eat.
Can you eat on the show while you're talking about the food? Can you do taste testing right there in the show?
I'm thinking of doing ribs. Because that's such good, in the
Oh, yeah.
man. Holy
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that sounds great in audio.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is the point in the show where we always also want to thank the Land Sharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. Remember that landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. And remember that they will be shipping online orders daily. We also want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters, that is Land Sharks and JP's Geo Designs, Limax, Team Squirrel, and Groovy Owl. And folks, if you want to know more about supporting the show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website.
Just like GeoNav Pros did.
And T Sayer,
And Kettle Barb,
And Dora Moore.
Acker Duck,
Genies,
Logwork.
Trexer Zero.
Keats 94.
And the Seebeck tribe who misses us. We
Oh.
miss you too.
Yeah. MC3 Cats,
Subaway Mark,
Kitty Quest.
Pete Pendragon,
Fairwood West,
Highlands Guy.
Wet Coaster, and Greenwords,
Billy Robson,
Boomer 365.
Dune Buddy,
the Geo Travelers,
LG 9000.
Sprouter, saw him in the chat tonight,
Anteus,
Tick Magnet.
Winos Seattle,
Kid Vegas 19,
Segehove.
Alarobrick,
the Camp Clan,
Broncos fan for life.
M-Nerve,
Kev MacD,
Team Noltex.
GSM times 2,
CRS 98.
And our latest patron on a boat.
on a boat.
On a boat.
Thanks to all of them, and
I'm on a
thanks
boat.
to all of you for watching, and thank you, Komakino, for joining us tonight. It's been great having you. If you wanted people to reach out and connect with you, do you have a preferred method for that?
Stay 6 feet away. Uh,
Let's
I'd say,
thinking more digitally, but yeah.
oh, that stay 6 kilobits away. I would say YouTube channel, youtube.com/Komakino, Komikino. Also on Twitter, but I'm not much of a social media person. But at Rich RICH Komikino, KOMIKINO. Facebook, I'm on there too. So a couple of different ways to be like, hey, I watch your videos.
All right.
Nice. What about you, Wits End? Where can we find you?
Well, I'm right here Thursday night.
Ooh.
Wits End on Geocaching, Message Center, Facebook, Twitter, those kind of things. Land Monkey's showing his commercial. Where would you find you,
That's
Mr.
right.
Monkey?
LANMONKEY.ca. The website there has everything on it now. It's a brand new website, loaded up with tons of great stuff. Go check it out.
A loaded website.
Loaded.
Careful where you point that.
Loaded baked potato.
Wits End, my friend, where you at?
Still here Thursday nights, geocaching.com, Message Center, Twitter, Facebook. And Chris, how about you?
Just look for Caching NW. You may have to spell out the whole Caching in the Northwest on Instagram, but the rest of it, that's pretty easy. Head on over to CachingNW.com/hosts. There you can find all those links that we just mentioned, because like Komakino, you don't have a pencil handy that you were writing it all down. Oh, he does have a pencil or pen handy. Okay, well, unlike Komakino, maybe you didn't have a pencil handy to write it all down. But folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Don't forget that you can be part of the show. That's right. Call into 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, or, take a video of us any time of the day or night. That didn't come out right.
No, that sounds creepy.
Wow.
As long as you're not
I
talking
think there's
noise.
laws against that.
Of course, you can email us at feedback@CachingNW.com. Any pictures you've taken of us and we're not aware, please email those to us. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the CachingNW.com website and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. Give us a thumbs up or even a review. The show's produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Copyright 2020 by Chris Umfenauer. And now, folks, what we've waited for. what we long for. It's time for
My paycheck.
we'll have to talk after the show.
I believe it's in the mail.
Checks in the mail.
Stimulus check.
Oh, that one. Yes, that's the one. Mhm. I made sure you got that.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're in the after show. We did it. That was very exciting. All right. Hey, that was a fun show. The after show.
There
Thank
you go.
Jack.
The after show. That's
Show. Yep. Fun. Hey,
stalkers.
we had lots of discussion here. Had a question from GSM times 2 right off the start here that I wanted to get at. Sorry, I was hemming and hawing because I was reading through all of the an entire line of text just to get to the question here because because of the way it's formatted on my screen. So his question is, are people using Zoom or other video programs to get together with other geocachers? And I can tell you, we've actually had a puzzle solving night with some geocaching friends over the Facebook video conferencing app.
Nice.
How about you guys?
This has been about it.
Yeah. I mean, Thursday night I get together with my friends, and 40 or 50 of my closest friends get on chat, and we have a great time.
We do. I really look forward to Thursday nights.
I do too. Yeah.
Keeps things going for sure.
Yeah, I haven't done any geocaching video chats, but we do our dance club. That since we can't get together and dance, we've been meeting via Zoom.
Wits in dance party.
Yeah, something like
Pretty
that.
much. Yeah. Oh, it's a thing.
It is. Kuhn and Bud asked what the channel on YouTube was called for you, Komakino. I think we had that in the chat way back, so that's good.
YouTube.com/Komakino, KOMIKINO.
There you go.
You act like you've spelled that before.
Yeah. I gotta spell it out. It's like, how do you spell that? It's, okay. That, and if you kind of do it, you can kind of get like a nice rhythm and song going to it there.
Yeah.
Oh.
KOMIKI. It's like Mickey Mouse. MICKEY. KOMIKNO.
Udak wants to know if that means something in Japanese.
The story about my name, it doesn't mean anything in Japanese. When I first set up my email years ago, somebody was like, okay, you can set up a name, a fake name, or whatever name that you want for it. And I wanted to have the name of a German techno band that I liked, which was Komakino, KOMAKINO. Their music is awesome. But when I was putting it in, I misspelled it. Which turns out to be good, because if I had that name as my email and I was trying to go with geocaching with Komakino, the German techno band, but then it wasn't until later on when I was giving that email address to somebody and they were like, oh, Komakino, it's like if you were to write Japanese characters like the katakana and hiragana, everything's all split up by syllable. And they were like, oh, the way the KOMI, it kind of looks like you would be writing the katakana for the word comic, which actually works because I like to do drawings. You see my drawings?
So
yeah,
that's a good point on the drawings. I'm going to throw in a Komakino ad here. If anybody saw the promos we were doing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for this episode, we were highlighting some of your drawings.
My drawings.
Your drawings, and you've done some really entertaining ones. Is that something you do? Like, if somebody wanted to check out your art, where would they go?
Oh gosh, I have like a DeviantArt page, DeviantArt, Makino DeviantArt. So I do that there. I occasionally post stuff up on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and just kind of get the creative juices flowing, and then get something kicked out. So those there.
Very cool.
Do you keep mines in a drawer? Oh, oh. I keep them in a sketchbook. Thank you.
You are the drawer.
A drawer. Yes, that's right.
IHAM would like to ask all of the viewers of the podcast what baked goods were produced during this podcast, since that seems to be a thing that happens every week.
Yeah.
We'll wait for you guys.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's Carlos Falconer Swarlos. He likes Legos, so I drew like a little Lego version of him.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you. Yay.
And so people could contact you as well, Rich, through some of those channels if they wanted to see if you could do some art for them.
Yeah, commissions. I'm doing like this little robot boy is gosh, I am so sorry. My dyslexia is kicking in here. I can't think straight. David Baker Clan, his kid, he wanted to design some pat tags for his kids, the nano kids, and also for him and his wife. So I'm just trying to draw like caricatures of them so they can put them on little pat tags there. So
That's
Nice.
so, yes, commissions. I do that.
There you go. If you want some mad art, you can reach out to Rich.
There
That's
you go.
right. Now, I don't know if you know, Rich, we have a lot of baking that goes on during the show. I don't know why. I just discovered this a few weeks ago. So it looks like
The
we've got
internet slows down, so what else are you going to do?
brownies
Yeah.
with marshmallow swirls and nuts.
Okay, now I'm
Nice.
hungry.
There was talk of mailing out Nanaimo bars. And if I'm not included in that, I'm going to be angry.
I have yet to have one of those. I heard that they're really good.
Let's
Yeah,
face it,
really.
you're pretty much angry anyway.
Well, it comes with being old.
Yeah,
Get off his internet. Yeah.
that's right.
And I'm diabetic, so it's like I got the insulin ready to go for the nano bar.
Okay.
Okay, so it's worth it.
Yes, it's like I can save myself a little bit there.
Oh, dear. You guys talked about Zoom meetings. Seebeck Tribe said Lisa, that's Lookout Lisa, hosted a Zoom meeting the last couple of Fridays, and she's hosting one again tomorrow on puzzle solving, and she'll have Cully Long.
Nice.
There you go.
There's a good thing to do on your Friday night.
Yeah.
Get the puzzle solved.
The chat lackey is tired. We wore out the chat lackey tonight.
Yeah, it's been a long
You know
show.
what? We're going to blame it all on Keats 94 for wearing out the chat lackey.
That sounds fair.
It wore out the
Way to
chat.
go.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Friday. It's Sunday. Thank you,
Oh.
Lisa.
No,
Sunday
Good thing
night.
Lisa's here to keep us straight. And
that's
Yeah,
right.
I know.
Get that straight.
Oh, you kids talk about being old.
Yep.
And Keats is sorry.
There
There is one on Friday. It's called Mappy Hour. I love that name.
that is funny.
Mappy Hour.
Okay, so there is something tomorrow night.
And then the puzzle solving is on Sunday.
Okay. There you go. We got to
A
keep
weekend
I'm
full
sorry,
of
Lisa.
geocaching
You've got so
meetings.
much going on. I can't keep up. We just do one show a
She's
night
just so
on-
busy. It's busy.
So,
all right.
folks, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed. And until next week, get out and get caching in the Northwest.
Go caching.